Hello and welcome to History on the Hoof. Today we're continuing our exploration of the flooded industrial village of West End in the Washburn Valley, submerged in 1966 to provide water for Leeds and revealed this year owing to the dry summer. In an earlier episode we talked about the early origins of the site and the church. Today we're going to continue to look at the mills and associated watercourses that brought houses and people between 1791 and 1830. Opposite the church is High Mill, or Patrick's Mill. It was built around 1800 to spin cotton, and in 1803 had 516 spindles and around 30 workers. By comparison, and today underwater, its sister mill and first spinning mill, Low Mill, had around 90 workers and over 1,500 spindles. Patrick's Mill was the largest in the valley, at 300 feet long and 5 stories high. It was powered by a water wheel of 60 feet in diameter. Its axle was estimated to weigh 5 tons and had to be placed in the centre of the mill. It was said to shake the building when it turned, but every revolution was worth a sovereign. A few years later the mills were converted from cotton to flax spinning. A man called John Patrick took on the lease of High Mill, which brought about the name change in 1812. He bought this and Little Mill in 1822. Little Mill was a flax mill further up the valley, first recorded in 1818 and driven by 2 water wheels, one above the other. At Low Mill, Christopher Smith rented and spun flax. Right at the top of the valley, Archaeology Mill was built before 1809 by 2 brothers from Halifax of that name. The estimated cost of watercourses and mills on the Capelshaw Beck was £40,000. A boom period that peaked in 1825 was followed by a dramatic and long downturn. By 1838, all the flax mills had stopped in the Washburn Valley and Archaeology Mill burnt down. The huge Patrick's Mill was never used again, lasting just 25 years. You can see just how long it had been abandoned up to the flooding by the number of large tree stumps growing out of the walls. Trade did pick up in the 1850s. Robert Benson and Richard Pullen, trading as Francis Thorpe & Co., leased Low Mill in 1857 and revived flax spinning. In 1861 they recorded 33 mill workers. By 1868 Thorpe & Co. had given up Low Mill and it was taken over by Thomas Gill, who began spinning heavy yarns, a mixture of hemp and tow. Patrick's Little Mill was last used as a sawmill by a joiner called Young around 1860-70. In 1891 the company, now run by Gill's sons, moved to convert bigger and more modern premises and Low Mill was closed. This marked the end of spinning in the Washburn Valley. The downfall of the mills, driven by downturns, prohibitive costs of bringing coal to update to steam, bankruptcies of tenants and insecure work, is reflected in the population of West End in the censuses, which records a growing number of empty houses from 1841. Over a generation, West End, or Thruscross, returned to how it had been in earlier times, one of a number of hamlets. There was a post office, school, smithy and pub, the Butcher's Arms by the church, a primitive Methodist chapel set up in 1829 and a competing Wesleyan chapel in 1837, both at Low Mill. Despite this, with no work, the area reverted to farming and in 1911 it was described as a ghost village, with only 5 houses occupied along the whole valley. During the war it was used as a practice ground, with tales of howitzer shells, houses having walls damaged and windows smashed. Some land was taken to be a searchlight camp, and fields and pasture reverted to moorland. Today it's used as a site of recreation, with many walks alongside the river and valley. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of History on the Hoof, and look forward to talking to you again soon. If you liked it, please subscribe.